Hey, how's it going? Anyone want to save me from this misery? It is way too hot. Oh my god, it is way too hot right now. Like just before, well, when I stepped off screen, I stood in front of the AC. it's for once. No, it's still hotter in here. Oh god, tomorrow's gonna be even hotter outside. Oh god, and Tuesday's even hotter still. Summer is officially here, huh? It's 76.5 right now. Here. Which isn't ideal. Like, can I survive? Yes. I'll survive. That doesn't mean it's pleasant. Every single AC is running. There is a part of me that wants to move like the giant AC unit from my bedroom where it's blowing to here, but there'll be two problems with that. One is it's loud, and two, there's no. I guess I can put it like maybe like over there, then I won't be able to go to. I mean, I guess. Maybe that's what I need to do. I just say screw it and I just move it there. I would need to actually finally deal with the fort here for that. Anyway, enough of that. Hope you guys are doing well. The plans for today are to finish up the ricochet thing. And then I've been thinking of what to do with the melee version of that. And I think the thing that I'm thinking now isn't to teleport like Flicker Strike. It's to like spawn 2 mini attacks off of every enemy. Or like, maybe not multiple, maybe one. In a random direction or something. I don't know. Or like to the sides of the enemy, or I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure, but basically just spawn more miniature attacks that will just basically make it look like every hit has mini hits going off of it on every enemy hit. So that's kind of where I am. Also, since yesterday we generated the new image for the ability, I've generated a bunch of new other ones to replace kind of the current card art that I've been doing. And I've been making it basically all like stylized anime-ish style, cartoon anime style. So I mean, I'll show you guys in a second. It's just a matter of how much I've been able to generate versus, you know, it hasn't been that long, so I haven't been able to do all of them, but I've been able to generate a few of them. And maybe that's gonna be the look. I probably need to redesign. I definitely need to redesign the actual like UI part of it, and either the card part of the card design. But yeah, let me show you. Let me show you guys. In hell. Bam. Bam. Look at that. So I put in the character and told it to use it as the the character that has whatever. So it's a little better that way. I think it's a little cooler. Is it all like fitting in the same style? No, like even you can tell the character has slightly differences in the design of the character even. But you know, but still figuring out like even just what it should look like in general. This is better. I think these are better. You can see down here. Here's just the armor, melee armor, projectile armor. I think these are still better. Berserk. That's what I think looks really cool. Soul Siphon, Surround. So I think that they're cooler than these. Or at least I feel like they work better than these. Right? Like these are cool. But now that we're going with the more like toon stylized, right? I feel like this fits better. Now the thing that doesn't work anymore is definitely like this design. In terms of like the color or you know, like that kind of stuff. But I'm not gonna worry about it. So yeah, there's still a few left to do. Look at all that. And then there's the rebound that we are making starting making yesterday. So that's what we'll be continuing. And I'll probably as I get more generation stuff, it'll be better. Also, you can see here increase radius, decrease radius, right? I feel like these work a lot better. But anyway, the only one that I feel like might be a little off is this, just because it's so dark here. But even then, it's fine. I think it's still better. Okay, well, shall we get into it? So what we were doing before is this. So there's the attack. That's where it ends. And if I gave myself rebound, it should go further. And it does. But I think does it just continue to get further and further? Wait. Is that what's happening? We were trying to figure out what was happening yesterday, why it was... Yeah, now it's just going really far. Why is it going so far now with no power up? What? So what's going on? Let's take a look. So it is setting it back to the data asset, and I think that's my problem, because I shouldn't be setting it to the data asset. So this lifetime, let's set it to be a new value. So this is scaled lifetime. Not scaled life. This is ricochet lifetime. Let's do that. Okay. Or I can just use this where I need to. You know what? Let's just do that. So here, instead of you, instead of using this lifetime one, right, we'll just use this. This goes here. So if this is 0, then we just should have the 1. 0 divided by 100, 0. Plus 1 is 1. 1 times lifetime is lifetime. I think that's really all we need. Let's double check. Why is it going so far? Why is it still going so far? $17. Why the hell is it 17? What? Hold on a second. Did it save it onto the actual file data asset? Wait a second. Oh my god, it did. I didn't think it would save it. Ah. Okay, let's double check all these now. So that's the thing. It actually, okay. See, I thought it was just on during runtime. We'll just modify the runtime one, but no. What the hell was that? So that's working. So that's going further now, right? So these should be bouncing. Excellent. And theoretically, if we weren't to get the other ones as well, so we had all 3 of them, this should effectively make it go off screen. And now it's really going a lot further. Sweet. It's interesting on this one because it just bounces, which is kind of cool. It bounces on the ground. I really like that. Okay, but that is working. I think we can say this is good. Sweet. Okay. So in that case, these this can go here. That's working. Good, good, good. Okay. Let's go ahead and start figuring out how the hell we're going to be doing the melee version. So, if I want to, whenever I attack and hit something, if I want to spawn that attack, off of the enemy. Well, that would need to happen. On the attack trace. So that would be no, not the projectile. If it's not a projectile, then it goes to false. Set collisions enabled. Does the timer. Change the capsule size. Oh, right. And then it just goes here because that's a collision thing. And then we make a note of the overlaps. Okay. Okay. So, basically what needs to happen then is on overlap, for every overlap, we need to spawn this attack again. In a different direction. We could do a random direction, but I don't really want to do a random direction. So let's figure this out. I'll just do a sequence here. I don't think this destroys itself at the end. Never mind. This destroys itself at the end. So we'll do the sequence like this. So what I need to do effectively is do the same thing the attack just does. AKA spawn this. And I should be able to get this information. Because we already have it. Should be able to just pass it all the way through. So let's start with this. I think there's some gonna be stuff we need to modify. Because normally here we do the delay destroyed event. But I guess we could just tweak that to not require it. Somehow. Because right now we're using, yeah, that's the only place we don't call it from anywhere. Because basically right now we're using the duration of the attack here, right? This is 2 frames. Just say, okay, when it's done, then go ahead, right, and trigger that. And if you need an extra delay on top of that, then add an extra delay. What we probably need to change it to, this will be a pain in the ass, is to have a frame variable where I could say the not even a frame, it has to be a time variable, right? But no, frames are easier because everything's 12 frames a second. I could say there's a frame, this is how many frames it is, and that will do the math automatically for how long it needs to exist for. And then we need to change every single tag to use that. So that way... Or... I just automatically call it. No, I think we can just automatically call it after a certain amount of time. No, but that would make it so it is attacking for longer than I want. So instead, I guess I probably do need to do that. So here where we have like start, delay, and duration, we need to also have the attack frame duration or something like that. Because there's no way of me getting this time, unfortunately. I don't have any way of getting that. Oh, wait, what's this duration? Hold on. Wait. Do we have it? Hold on. Hold on. 0.8. Oh. We do have access to it. It was just hidden away. Okay. Okay. So, in that case... this becomes a lot easier. Let's get a duration in here. Put it over here. Put you in here. We can get rid of this. That is not needed anymore. Duration. Okay. So that means I'm just doing a slight modification here. Good enough. That means we can do a, instead of this, we have this duration, right? So we just do this. So we do a delay here. That is the extended duration, the duration, and the start delay. Do the delays, and then do the destroy actor or whatever it is. So then we do delay destroy actor here. And that will take care of itself. Gonna do a little print string here. Yay! Nice. Okay. Goody. Goody, goody, goody. Okay, so that takes care of that problem. Because now, here, we have duration that we can send through. Not that duration. I don't know what that is, but I want this. Send that through. Okay, so the spawn location is the overlapped actors location. So get actor get overlapped actor. This one, yes. Get actor location. The rotation will be perpendicular to the sides. Let's try that. Get right vector. Oh. Get actor rotation. Get right vector. And then to make rotator from X. So we'll start with this. This will just do 1. And can I scale it down? Will that work? I don't think this part will work, but let's find out. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I genuinely do not know. Is anything happening? I don't think anything's happening. There's probably something I didn't plug in. Nope. Okay, so it is triggering. So it is printing. Overlap actor location. Why don't we get it? Skeptic Believer, welcome in. How's it going, guys? Hope you guys doing well. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everyone. I am currently trying to set up a split attack, sort of. A melee version of a ricochet, in a sense. That was your stream. What were we up to? Hope it went well. Hope you got things accomplished. I am trying to figure out. Kept crashing from Houdini. Oof. Ooh, that. That's not good. Wait, is this only triggering once? No, it's triggering twice. Over and over again? Oof. That sucks. Crashing sucks. Hopefully you have autosave on. And you didn't lose too much. It's my only hope. It's a tiling work in progress. Always saving. God, it won't. As long as you don't lose anything. I mean, it's annoying, yeah. But at least it's somewhat manageable in that regard. I'm working on a power up where where I have a ricochet that I set up for projectiles, right? And we can just ricochet projectiles down. It's cool. But I wanted to work with melee as well. Obviously, there's nothing to ricochet with melee. So instead, what I want to do is when I attack, it will like spawn that same attack to like the sides effectively. So that's what I wanted to happen. Oh, I just realized I'm doing the attack, but I'm not doing the effect. So of course I'm not seeing it. Because this is only doing the attack portion, not the effect portion. Right. You're totally new with Unreal in game development? Second month? Hey. I was there too starting out. You know, this is currently my first game. So, you know. This is an action RPG deck building roguelite with Binding of Isaac style passive power-ups, where you have a deck builder and basically all of the power-ups are like passive power-ups. So for example, increase auras, give yourself different weapons, lifesteal, crit chance, crit damage. Some of them are like damage. It's like for 7 seconds after being hit, deal increased damage. Auras, spawning fire behind you, and they all stack together like Binding of Isaac. That's why I brought it up. But the actual combat, despite being a roguelite, is more like an action RPG. So, for example, if I go into the dungeon, which is procedurally generated, trying to adjust some stuff so we don't have such long load times and more accurate load times. So here's the game, and it's a vertical dungeon, so you actually see those islands. Yeah, you're going there. That's part of the part of this dungeon. So it's a vertical dungeon. I can just do one of these to show. And it's always randomly generated. Sometimes you have more layers, sometimes you have less. But then you come here. Why did I just do enough damage to kill everyone? What? Why? Why is it? Why did their health not properly set? I don't like this bug. I don't like this bug. What is this bug? Why is everyone's damage doing insane? Or what? Looks beautiful. I mean, I appreciate it. Oh, this entire environment, material-wise, is done with one texture. I'm happy about that. So let's get in there. Let's get in there. It's a different dungeon. Right, see a different layout. Why? Oh, hold on. What is this happening? Let me just hit an enemy once. 13. Is their health not being set? Oh, hold on. Is it because of my little test right now? It could be because of my little test right now. Because I think it might be doing an infinite attacking loop, basically. If just double check. Because I'm spawning an attack from the attack, and I'm not giving any kind of filter for the test, but I was doing the testing. Am I going to be able to show? It's sort of like Hades, I think, when it comes to the attacks. So you have a left click combo, you have a right click combo, and you can interchange them together. So you can do like left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 left. It doesn't matter. So I can do this, this, and then this. So you can do like only the third attack is the left click version. And the rest of the right click, you can interchange them, and the cooldowns will adjust accordingly. And then there's also, yeah, there we go. And then there's the like actual weapon abilities. There we, yeah. So yeah, the thing. Yeah. So now I can actually fight these guys properly. But yeah, you fight them, and eventually you get a card from your deck, and that's how you get your stuff, so I can like do more damage. I've been working on this in terms of just world time. Over 2 years. In terms of productivity time, I think around 6 months at this point. When I say productivity time, I'm like, if you were to look at it as like 40-hour weeks type thing, I think it's about 6 months. Still good. But yeah, because I'm doing this part-time, so that's why. Let's go to back to testing, because we need to set up something similar to the effects. But I have no connection to the effect itself. The effect is a part of a separate system. The effect is part of this. I guess not this. It's not this one I should be looking at. Let's look at this one. Oh, yeah, it's this. All right, it's the same one. So how? So would I need to spawn? How do I spawn? How do I play this animation? I need a dummy character that can play this animation. And be invisible. And then I can have everything just trigger as I would normally. So what I need is that'd be such a pain in the ass to do though, because I would need to like transfer every single stat over. The only way to really, I guess, do what I want is to combine these two. The spawn Niagara stuff and the attack stuff into one. I don't really like that idea. I don't love that idea. Because the timing is different. So okay. What are my options then? What are my options? Because I don't really want to do that. It's like projectile, hit stop, melee attack. Okay, what can we do then? That's not that. I could shoot a I mean, I can have the player spawn projectiles for it. Like little blade projectiles. On hit. That could I even do that? Because no, that would require player location, right? Because my system works off of the player location or the multi-directional vector, which is also something that's calculated. So either way, it's not off of a custom spot. Shit. Because this has no way of telling if it hits anything, because it's not doing any checks for that. I said this, hold on. True. Oh, that's only for closest impact. Yeah, which is different. Shit. Okay. Is there any way for me to make a copy of a character at runtime? Do something with it. I don't think there is. I can spawn a so what can we do? Spawn a projectile, but that kind of it's not very interesting. Teleporting to the enemies every attack, also like a flicker strike, which was my original thought, is just gameplay wise, it's not going to be good because it's going to position you potentially in bad locations. And yes, I can give you armor to compensate, but positioning is more important than that. That's not good. Yeah, the only way I can think of doing that is to combine the two, but then again, then we have to deal with a lot of extra pain in the ass to get to use the effect and everything else. I'm pretty much always going to have the Niagara stuff on every attack. I mean, not always, but I mean, like, I don't have to use it, I guess. But that's a lot of stuff to bring over. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, in that case, what can we do? What is the melee equivalent that we can do? Of a ricochet. Or a bounce. I can't do just increased damage. That's no fun. Teleporting would just mess with positioning. If it was like, you know, it had an active ability, you could do an active ability, but not a passive one, right? That just always happens. We cannot spawn. I mean, I guess what I can do is just create a setup that allows me to spawn a projectile from another location. and then use that. And then I could just spawn a projectile that is like the weapon. I feel like that's not a very good solution. Like, not a very interesting solution. What else can we do? We can consult. We can consult and see if it can some AI and see if it can give us any ideas of other options potentially. What could work as a melee version equivalent to a ricochet projectile attack? Just need ideas. Urban Strike hits one target and bounces to nearby. Yeah, you can't bounce. Sword Hammer throwing that rebounds off armor shields into a flanking enemy. No, we can't do a thrown weapon. Impact creates a shockwave follow-ups that also chains to adjacent foes. Could set up another actor. That no, it's easy to put another actor to like spawn because a shockwave, yeah, we can do like a shockwave, but or like any kind of like effect that's just in a spawn, right? You can just spawn it and it'll do the damage, and that we can tell it to be in that location. But I feel that that's not bounce. What if the attack is just typically a sphere trace? Behind the scenes. Yeah, so it stops thinking about it as like weapons. So stopping on the first hit, you continue the simulation. First, I had to record the hit location. What? That's not what I meant. Oh, I said what is. What if it is? Well, what if? Oh, hold on. What if the attack is just a typical sphere recognition? Because I asked is. What if? What else can we do? Yeah, I don't want to do a. Let's say you can immediately or sure follow up Perform additional traces or overlap spheres. Impact point. Yeah, most likely what we need to do is just tell it to spawn extra projectiles then. And just say screw it. Problem is we need to create a projectile version of every single weapon. And every single weapon attack. And that's just not good. No, that's not an option. Unless it always spawns the same effect, but the damage is different. In UE5, is there a way to make an exact copy of a character at runtime?
Ads. Everything paused, including my ability to remember where I left that cast node.
No, spawn room class is not gonna work. God damn it. So no, the answer is no, it's not possible. Yeah, there's no okay. Shit. Do we put a pin in it for now and go work on another one? Is there any way? These don't always line up. That's the problem. They line up on these, but they won't always line up. There is a I guess there's a delay thing I can use, but yeah, there's a delay trace. Why does this have like all the attack info stuff? Oh, that's why. It's not actually being used. I just didn't delete the variables. Yeah, there we go. Now it's actually what it is. Okay. 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 What makes this bounce? I could knock back the characters in melee. So instead of, I could do a knockback of the characters. So instead of the projectiles bouncing between characters, the characters will be bouncing. Maybe. And if they hit another character, then they can also take the damage. Or take some damage. Setting a damage through that would be very because the thing is, right, the projectiles, when they bounce, they still do full damage, right? All of the damage calculation stuff, right, all of that continues through. If you have the characters bounce into each other, visually could be interesting, but then we need a way of sending all of the damage stuff. I guess we just need to send the attack info through. But then how do you, there's no way of telling what hit who, is there? Because when two objects hit each other, it's not like Unreal says this object hit this one. They both hit, so you wouldn't even know which one's which. No, that's not an option. Shit. Okay, well. What's the other stuff that we have? Pain. I was finally thinking of having Ricochet. I want Ricochet. God damn it. I mean, look, the solution, right, is to just say screw it and actually combine the attack and the visual into one. Oh, but no, because then what do you do when it's like a controller supported one versus a spell? No, it becomes even more complicated. Now even that won't solve it perfectly. Okay, well. Shit. The next one's chain lightning. Spawn lightning that chains between enemies every attack off the first enemy hit. That one's easier. Right, we can do that one. The only thing here is the first enemy hit works for a melee. The projectiles will just hit multiple enemies. Oh, no, that still would work because both are kind of AoE attacks. No, that's still fine. So we could do this one. Okay. How do we set this one up? Most likely what I'm imagining is we have to stun the enemies for a moment. And then we have to create the effect. Let me take a look. Did I grab the pack? There's a spline based link chain VFX, this one. No. That is not the one. Let's go on to there we go. I'm thinking of this, which is free. I already have it in my library. This one, the spline-based one. Because we can theoretically use this one, and then we would just need to do a trace in an area, and then pick however many we need, and then place the points of the spline accordingly in those locations, and just for a moment freeze the enemies. I mean, depending how fast this is, we might not even freeze them. But it's called Free Spline VFX. Great game. So I don't have this one, right? No. Okay, let's go ahead and add it to the project. Yeah. Depending on how fast the effect is, we'll test a few things and go from there. Okay, let's see what we have. There's spline VFX. I don't like the underscore at the start. Just made a new folder instead of renaming it and then doing this, because then it would just it would need to have multiple resaves, renames instead of one. Okay, those are all good. Let's get rid of this. And now let's take a look. Okay, so right, this is just imagine just okay. How does this work if you put it up in air? Okay, so this just wouldn't do the decal part? No, it still does. Still does? Oh, yeah, it still does. It just has a range. So I guess this is spawning decal, doing decals. Okay. This is the one we'd want, the electric lightning one. So, I mean, I guess because it is instantaneous, it theoretically should work. Why is the default shape of this spline this? Why would they do that? Why would you do that? Okay, let's do... That's fine. So let's do some tests. Let's make a chain lightning spawn chain lightning. The nice thing is I won't need to do the custom like damage stuff because I'll already have that information theoretically inside of the system because it'll do the trace and everything for me. So let's just do on begin play sphere trace by channel character get active location. Let's do like a 500 for duration, so we just see it. And then for each, we're going to need to know its information, but spawn actor from class. This one, please. Get actor location. Get spline. Clear spline points. And we'll promote this to a variable. So then, for each one of these, let's do a break hit result. We'll grab our spline, and then we'll do add a spline point. At the location. World. And this is on begin play. So let's do like a tiny delay. Just so it'll be easier to see. And let's grab a few more of these guys. No. It was on the ground. Let me move it up. Why? So it's spawning it. There it is. And it does have... four points. But why are they all there? Huh? It is finding it. It is hitting it. Let me try doing a variable here. I don't think it should have any effect, but just in case. No. Adds a point to the spline. Well, actually, you know what? Let's do a... Hold on, print string. Let me just confirm that it's... Wait, that's not the... Oh, there's the problem. Is this not the location in world space? Okay, let's just do impact point. Impact point. Aha! Okay. It just really did not like location. I thought location was fine. Would be like the location of... I guess it could do hit actor, get actor location as well. Impact point is fine. Okay, so we can do this. Then let's say, again, for testing purposes, a delay of 0.2 seconds and then destroy actor. Also, destroy this actor. Too short, because the lightning is... Yeah, so lightning needs to be faster. Can we change the speed of that lightning? We have the width, detail speed. What we want? Get in faster just to see. No. Detail speed is 0.0013 and then offset is 6. Yeah, well, that had no effect. Let's take a look. Brightness, color hue, speed, direction strength. What if I made this like super high? Nope. Jitter. Main power speed. Here we go. It's at 80. What? It's still not any faster. Progress? 10. Right. Okay, hold on. If I did 100 here, am I gonna see a difference? Yes. Okay. So it is changing. This is making a visual change. So what the hell is up with this effect? None of these have any change on this. Oh, hold on. Did making it smaller help? No. Nope. That's my imagination. If I turn off add detail and add main power, what does this do? So neither. Okay, so it's not detail or main power that I need to worry about. So it's something else. So the main power doesn't matter. It's not progress. It won't be utile. I think that's just for the texture. Yeah. Okay, let's open up the effect. Okay, well, at least this one's not insane. Is there a speed one? Oh, let's do this. Is it currency? Wait, it's called currency? It's not specifically current? Okay, so that's the one. Okay, so now we know we modify this one. Initialize particle. Is it on the scratch module? That's probably where it is. It's here. Progress. Okay, what if hell if I understand anything here? What if I did progress and then I multiplied it to a float? Like 10. No, that wasn't it. That had no effect. 100. Oh, you need to click apply scratch. That's right. Oh, hold on. 10. Apply scratch. That. I think that's it. I think that's the one. Okay. So now we can make it maybe a little bit thicker. Okay. And now we can make it a little bit faster. 0.15. Only a little slower. 0.25. Okay. I'm gonna try. You know what? When they're moving, let's see when it's moving. Yeah. Looking at the top left one. Yeah, bottom left one. I need them to. I need the one I'm looking at to move. Honestly, at that speed, they can move, and you don't even notice, right? Okay. Okay, here we go. We need to be able to limit it to how many we want, though. So we'll need a few things. Let's do max targets. Integer. And as long as the index is less than max targets. Because once it hits index 3, that's the fourth one, and this is 3, then we've gone too far. So as long as this is true, then we continue. Okay. And what I'll do most likely is move this logic onto the attack and check for on the attack trace dummy, and then check for we'll figure it out. Figure it out. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Okay, so now this should only do, let's say, 3. Okay, there we go. Now it only does 3. Perfect. Okay. So now I want this to happen when I attack. So, what's the best way of doing this? This can go away. So when we do the attack, we turn on the capsule collisions. Then we do the on overlap. So what we can do is on overlap, because whatever the first one is that triggers, a do once on it. Basically. So here we can just do a do once and tell it to then spawn that. It's you. It's you. So let's take all of this, copy it here. Do once. get rid of this. And then what I'm going to do is, instead of doing the destroy here, I'm going to modify this actual blueprint and give it a lifespan. 2.5. And then I don't need to do this delay. Destroy. So that way, if it somehow gets destroyed during that, it's not going to have any effect. And let's just say max targets 4, 5. We could make this controllable. We could get the use power for that. So we'll chain to 3, 4, 5, you know, whatever enemies, max enemies. But let's see what happens now. Oh, okay. So a couple of things we need actors to ignore. Owner? No, get instigator. Attacker. That's the one. Okay, so that way it won't go to us. I can turn this off for a moment, because I think that the radius is fine. Ooh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? That worked. Wait, hold on. For duration, and let's do a little print the length here. Because I feel like it's not going 3. 1. Yeah, let's do slightly bigger radius. Yep. Start with that. Okay. That's more noticeable. It's not doing any damage to them yet. But right? That's working. Maybe it's a little bit far. I think I will drop it a little bit. 600. Like 500 seemed like it was good, but I feel like maybe just the way they were grouping up just made it seem like. Okay, so that's working. So then we needed to do damage. So we can turn the debug on that off. It's adding the spline point, and it needs to then do the damage section to it. So on overlap, it should send the damage through. Actually, the damage should be as a separate value. It shouldn't be based off of your attack. It should be just... Okay. Let's make the stuff. That seems like it's gonna work. So, continue on. This is chain lightning. Spawn spawn a lightning chain? Yeah, sure. A lightning chain between variable enemies in range. And then we can say base lightning damage is variable 2. Or I guess enemies in range. Dealing variable 2 damage to each. Spawn lightning chain between blank enemies in range, dealing blank damage to each. Okay, that's fine. Unfortunate thing is I'm out of image generations. I try to generate it. Okay, I'm out. Oh? Oh, it's generating. Never mind. Working on me able to get a... Well, just only try. We can certainly try. I mean, that's not bad. At least for the time being. We could try... Hey, Leo, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Our needs to depict electric chain, wrapped around multiple enemies and I don't know, connecting them. I don't know if that's going to be a better. This week you haven't been able to dev, just adapting to work. I mean, that's normal. That's pretty normal. So you started working then? Congrats. Congratulations. Hopefully work goes well. Not quite what I'm looking for. Been working since last Tuesday. Nice. You started you on Tuesday? Yeah. I think when I started like on a Wednesday or Thursday. I was like, that's not terrible. I'll do one more generation. Just pick whatever one's best. I mean, style-wise, doesn't really. Okay, one. Okay, one or two more. Fine, it's good. Work has been straightforward to us so far. Good. That means you're a good fit for the job. If it's all makes sense and you're not struggling, that means good. What's been the most annoying is having to use AI against your core values. It's job. It's everyone. Yeah, it's a job. It's you're gonna be using AI. You're gonna have to change your core values or learn to deal with it. That's just how it is. Hate to break it to you, but yep. That's where the world is. It's not going away. These aren't giving me what I want, but I guess we'll just have to pick one. I'm surprised he's letting me generate this many. I almost want to say it's this one, but I guess the problem is I told it to put a chain. What if I just said electricity? Electricity, going from enemy to enemy. What happened there? Bouncing from enemy to enemy? I don't know, try. You been yearning to go back to your horror game? You been sketching out the floor plans for the first level? Nice. Yeah, you have to do it like me. After work, is when you after work and if, weekends possibly is when you can work on your game. This is good. If only it was like like these are giving me more of what I want, I think. But I need to Devin's doing it again. Give me it's not I think that's for chains this time. Stop it. Right now you're not sure how to make the enemies for the first floor as in thematically this? Don't worry about it. Have them be cubes. Doesn't matter. Okay, this is my last one. We're just picking. This doesn't matter this much. Only reason I've generated this much is because I'm talking. I mean, that's kind of cool. Maybe that one, honestly. This one would work if it wasn't freaking like on the bottom half, because then you just see a freaking lot of lightning. This one kind of works. I don't think these are good. So I think we either go with this one. I'm gonna try to ask it adjust the image so the lightning and goblins are in the top half of the image primarily, or are visible. Just to see if it can do it, because I think it's the best one, but something along those lines, what I was imagining. What? How is goddamn? And there's the generation limit. That is not that image. Just screw you. Okay, let's I almost feel like this is another ability that I'm going to be doing, so I don't want to do that one. Let's do I'll just use this one, I guess. You know what? Screw it. I'll just grab this one. Grab that one. The best one. Wrong button. Open source location, please. Where you go? There it is. Bam. You ever thought you'd be learning how to make shirts? Why? What? Why are you learning how to make shirts? I mean, like, if you're interested in fashion design, I guess, and actually making stuff, then yeah. The design for shirt? Well, it's designs for shirts is different than learning how to make shirts. Because one is learning how to stitch fabric and one is making a cool design. I feel like it's a little bit different. They both involve shirts though. Yes. That is true. Card ability, chain, lightning, add. Let's learn how to make shirts from observation as well, so you're not, it's not entirely wrong statement. They're pretty big machines. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of programs that kind of, are for that, right? You basically you can draw it out in 2D and then it will like then conform it onto the character and then drape accordingly depending on your setup, right? There's like a lot of stuff for that, but knowing how to make it in 2D, like how does the 2D need to be laid out and cut and sewn for it to like fit, is a skill in and of itself. One I don't have. Because I've never tried. I've never cared about it being ever accurate. So wait, are you working for like a fashion brand? Is that why? I'm making the next drip? between, okay, how many enemies do we want to chain between? Minimum 3. Let's do 3, 4, 5, and then 10. This is non-additive. And then it's going to be doing damage. 5, 10, 15, 25. It is additive. So if you grabbed all of these, you can do 30 base damage. It's not bad. Which is also modified by that might be too much. I might need to drop that, because the base weapon damage is 10. So it's actually gonna be doing more than your base weapon now, which is fine. It's gonna do quite a bit. That's fine. Not exactly a fashion brand, more so a sublimation printing company. Much more smaller scale. Think company sports day custom shirts level. Is that our company? Hey, gotta start somewhere. Hey, Real Spoke, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Wait, you can use variables in the descriptions, like variable 1? Well, in my case, yes. I set it up to do that. Yeah. Not by default. Yeah, the variable. When I type in variable 2, right, it uses this information. This is just a simple check string. Does string contain this? If yes, find it, replace it, and etc. So by just putting in variable var2 and putting in the stuff, I now have this populated. See, 3, 5, 4, 10, 5, 15, all populated automatically for me. Yeah, you can put in blah 1. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you put in, as long as you're set up for that. Like if I wanted to, I could just make it a symbol. Like just, I don't even. Yeah. Sure. Leo, you're good at creative stuff. Help me figure out a solution to a melee version of this. I need a melee version. I can't figure out a good melee version of this. All of the things that I was trying to do just actually won't work. I was originally thinking of doing like a flicker strike. Flicker strike is just not good. It'll put you in bad positions. The bouncing. I set up ricochet for projectiles, but I need a melee equivalent of ricochet. At first I was thinking flicker strike. That's not a thing. That's just bad. Then I was like, oh well, what if when you hit someone it will spawn like mini attacks going to the sides? And then I realized, oh well, the attack portion is easy, but the effect portion is difficult because they're separate and they're part of the animation sequence, and I can't just play both and have it. Yeah, that's not an option. And I can't. And then spawning a projectile seems like it defeats the point. So teleport character to nearest enemy and then loop that. No. But the problem is we don't want to have that. Flicker strike won't work here because one, it is right. We have a combo attack system, so it's not a hold, right? It's you click once. And two, I don't want to teleport the player between all the enemies because then you're just going to be in a bad position as a melee. You're already having a bad time. And I don't want to just give extra armor protection just to compensate for bad design. So... no, I don't want flicker strike. I'm explaining why that doesn't work. But I was originally thinking of using flicker strike, but then I thought about it. Flicker strike is fine if you have an agility build in PoE. There's no avoiding of damage here. I don't even have any way to. There's no misses here in this game. You cannot miss. Does the ricochet happen off of enemies and surfaces, or both? Because there's not many surfaces, so I've made it so ricochets off.
That's rolling. Pause, so you missed the part where I googled the most basic thing again.
While ads are going, I'll be right back though. I'm back. Bedtime? Have a good night, Real Spooked. Hey, somebody. But yeah, earlier on, trying to figure out, I started setting up. We got the ricochet part is working for the projectiles, but I haven't been able to figure out like a good equivalent, or just any equivalent. I guess an equivalent could be like just spawn a little shockwave at the enemy locations kind of thing, but I feel like that's not the same, because then you're hitting everyone around you, while a bounce doesn't necessarily hit every single enemy around. So, yeah. Figuring it out. Yeah, so we don't need this. What about tendrils that pull enemies closer on successful hit? The problem is I need it to be a damage, something with damage. Because that's what effectively, right? It's a damage upgrade. Having ricochet when enemies are grouped up, especially. Because like if I go to the game, it's really cool. That's why I want to make it work. So if I come here, and I'll grab the weapon. Spike / thorn whip, base proximity. They can impale. So would but then you would hit every enemy in an area, right? Will that not be just way like more powerful? So if I turn on rebound here, which is ricochet, and then I do this, right? It becomes extremely powerful and really cool, right? As you will just watch all of the projectiles just fly and hit everyone. Right. So I could do I could spawn like spikes or something. Only unsuccessful ricochet against one enemy on an overlap. What do you consider as a successful ricochet on a melee attack? So if you hit an enemy, basically, right? If you hit an enemy, then every enemy around it gets hit. I feel like, or I guess up to, we could do like up to 1 or 2 enemies in an area get hit. Something like that. Or like a random chance. We can give it like a random chance of hitting enemies in a small that could work. A random chance for a spike or something like that to happen in areas around the hit enemies. So no. So if you hit 3 enemies and they're close together, each one will have like let's say 20% chance of selecting another one next to them to impale or do whatever. No, I think that could work. Because effectively that's a bounce, right? Is not guaranteed to hit. Right? And because it's not guaranteed to hit, I don't want it to guarantee like do damage. So we could do something like that. And have a max ricochet bounce amount or percentage chance. No, I think we'll just do on a hit, spawn the stuff around as a chance. Spawn spikes or something. I just need to get an effect of something like that, which should not be difficult. I should be able to just reuse one of the effects I have and just modify it, like one of the spell ones or something. Yeah, I think that's not bad. I think we can work with that. See, I was asking the expert. I need people to bounce ideas off of. Right. Awesome. Okay, cool. Right now we're working on chain lightning. So that's the next thing. So now, right now it just always happens. But if I hit one of these guys, you can see there's the chain lightning. It doesn't do any damage yet to like all of the other guys it hits, but visually it's there. Also, I need to I need to only do this if the length is greater than 1. Because if it's only 1, then this doesn't make sense. Another way can be pre-calculated burst of spikes that emulate the ricochet, but stepping forward in time to calculate it. So there's all the ricochets in one go. That's our thing, like chain lightning. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not gonna chain it. It's just gonna do around it once, and that's it. Because realistically, you're not gonna get, and then I can control just the chance of it happening. Because realistically, not every projectile is gonna hit every enemy, right? So, like, I imagine it's gonna hit maybe one other one some of the time, on average. You have an issue where your brain overthinks everything. So yeah, you have a bunch of spells and spell effects for different things, and then not get in Obsidian. I mean, that's good, right? My problem is I don't have that. The problem is I'm stupid. And lazy. Okay, I don't need you open anymore. Okay, so we have this. Let's go here. Add chain lightning. And now we can go ahead and do this. So first of all, get attacker. Check hashtag. Chain lightning. So let's only do this part if we have chain lightning. Actually, order of operations. Let's do the do once first. Actually, no, we don't want to do the, no, that would be bad. This is the right order of operation. This is right. What happens when you go down the dark path and decide to use blood instead of water or bone instead of earth and make NPCs heat up to gain fire? See, that's too much. That's too complicated. Like, I don't even have elements in my game. Like, I don't have fire damage and lightning damage and ice damage. Like, visually, yes. But, like, they're all just spells. I only have 4 types of damage. Melee, projectile, spell, and damage over time. Make a magic system that uses elements found the game as magic source. So your spells take on the form of the element you have available. So fireball can be water ball, can be earth. I mean, that's just I think at that point you just use the same attack and just change the visual, change the Niagara particle that spawns, And that's it. Same exact everything. And just change the Niagara thing. And then done. Damage done. And then based on which one you have, maybe it'll also do like a different effect at the end. Yeah. You do a little switch or something. This is an example of something. Yeah, you're starting with overcomplicating. Yeah, I can see that. It's okay, you know. You'll get there. You'll figure it out. Make a game with one element, and then if you want later on add another one, we can. You got really wacky with it and made a system that can theoretically endlessly link smaller components together to get different spells. I mean, look, that sounds amazing. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds freaking awesome. It reminds me of Noida, based on the description. But I mean, once you have it set up, right? Utilizing it is great, but setting it up. But I guess it all depends on what you're doing. All right, and depends how it works. Because if it's just math calculations, then you can just do different math calculations in whatever order. If you're having things, I mean, I guess even when even if you were to like spawn new things, see, everything's a lot easier when you're just like dealing with projectiles. Once you're dealing with just a trace, that becomes a lot more painful. Okay, we're gonna do this before the loop because there's no reason to get this information multiple times. So I have a spell line that chains between blank enemies. So variable 1 is this. That's the max enemies. You know, like a combination of different spell rooms that basically were like shrink, grow, move, home, etc. You try and surprisingly worked and didn't run into infinite loop. So basically worked like a chain of function calls and binds that deducted mana to cut the loop. The idea was to marry the two ideas, the elements and the combination components of people. It makes spells that just morphed elements. I mean, theoretically, in my head, you would just have an array of data assets, and then you would just on each one of those, you just have a function that you run that does whatever you need to do, and you send the like as a blueprint interface, and then you do like one into the other, and then you just do a loop on that array, and then you just go in whatever order, however many you have, endlessly. That's it. In my head, that's how I would do it. I don't know how you did it, but like in my head, that's probably because then you would need, then you can rearrange them, and it's all modular pieces. In a situation like that, that is where I'd use a data asset setup compared to like what I'm doing. Right, I'm not using data assets for my stuff. I'm just using a data table, but for that kind of setup, I feel like data assets is the go-to. I think what I need to do is you. Here. Use this. Calculate damage dealt as well. Make array. The damage is a spell. Damage scale. Well, actually, it's not damage scale. We need force damage override. Damage override. That's what we want. We don't need to force it. We just do this. That doesn't matter. Oh, we need to know if it's a player. And this goes here. Clean this up after. You don't know if it was too convoluted. I mean, look, the idea is good, right? The idea is good. Is it complicated? Yes. It depends on what kind of modifications you're trying to do, right? It really depends on that. Because if you're just doing like simple modifications, then yeah, you should be able to like if, for example, for projectiles, right? If you wanted to just like increase the size of the hitbox, change the size of the projectile, make it have homing, make it have bounce, right? All of that kind of stuff you can have as runes. And it's very simple to have them chain, even the and then depending on how you want to do it, right? Maybe some order will matter. Like maybe you do a split first. You do a split versus and then a bounce, or then it bounces and then after it bounces once it splits, right? Like you can do like stuff like that, and the order will matter. But it depends on what you're trying to do. I think the method is going to be easier than setting up the actual effects to make it useful. Depending on what you're doing. The game sadly would not see the light of day for a while. It's open world. Well, there's your first problem. And requires a team plus budget, and you don't have. I mean, look, create a prototype, and what was the place that and then go check out Outer Sloth or something. And you can get funding. Doesn't mean you're gonna get it, but you can definitely try. Right, there's places to get funding. Outer Sloth. Were you not here for that discussion a while back? Outer Sloth is the sub company, I guess, of the guys that made Among Us, and they give people money for good games, game ideas. If you have a good game idea, You can pitch it to them, and then you will get money. It is not a what's it called? A publisher. So you will get no help with your game, but you will get money. And then obviously there's a it's not free money. You have to, like, they take a cut after it's released. For, like, there's terms. But basically it was, I believe it was 50% until they recuperate it of your profits. And then it's like 15% for 7 years or something like that. The point is, it will allow you to make a game, potentially, depending on how much money you need. If it's under, I believe most of the games they fund is under $500,000. But, you know, it's still a good chunk of money, depending on, like, again, the scope of the game. You can't make an insane game. But if you're fine taking longer and doing it most of it yourself, you know, that can work. That's a lot of a cut. That's not a lot of a cut. No. I believe that's not before Steam. That's after Steam. So Steam takes the 30%, and then of the stuff that is left, they will take 50 until they recuperate. So it's not like 30 plus 50. You're not down to 20%. It's not as bad, I believe. I think it's the net versus the other one. Actually, I don't need to do this. I can do impact point and impact normal. Anyway, like, I read up about it, you know. It's been a few hot minutes since I looked into it. I was originally considering it, but I was like, could I make the game with, like, 500,000? I could. But I feel like I'm not there yet. Hey, Gnome, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Again, I don't know. It could be all calculated after taxes. I have no idea. I don't remember. Don't make assumptions. That's my only suggestion. Don't make assumptions. If you're interested, look it up. Outer Sloth is the name. Oh. Yeah, me kind of, I need that one. Hey, Sir, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. You're late. Well, you showed up at all, so I appreciate that. You don't have to be here at the beginning, so the fact that you're here at all, I appreciate. You're gonna ask them for $1? Hi, late. I'm dad joke. Hi, dad joke. Working on the game as always. What are we doing today? We were working originally on one ability, but now we've swapped to another one, which is Chain Lightning. So let's take a look. It work? Oh, it totally works. Wait, why? Hold on. Did it not chain? Wait, I feel like it didn't actually like visually chain. Oh, it did. It did. Oh, it totally works. Yeah. That might be too much damage. I think we're already nerf it into the ground. Why do I still get that on? Should be ignoring me. You've been making a garden in your game where you could grow plants over time. Real time and season compares it, so its previous save time only accumulates on sphere radius from plants, so no event tick. Nice. Very nice. Is this for the Pokemon game? Are you putting farming in your Pokemon game? Why did... Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and nerf that. So instead of 5, 10, 15, that's way too much. Let's do full damage in tier 3, half damage here, and like 3 damage here. 3, 5, 7, 15. Tier 3, we can do 10, actually. 10, 6, 3. Let's do that. It's not a massive nerf, but it is a nerf. Why? Why is it on me? Why do I see the little ball on me? It should never happen on me. It's when he dies? Is that why? But it's set to check for if it's greater than 1. It should be at least 2. Huh. You got a little far with it and maybe added too much, but it flows together. It's just a pretty open world RPG, but you're the Pokemon. I mean, it's different. Sounds cool. And then the question really becomes next is, when are you going to add flying to the game? Because so many Pokemon can fly. Also, please don't. And then, because then, if you add flying, then you have to answer the question, oh, when are you going to add full underground digging for those Pokemon? Have you played the game RimWorld? I have not. I know the game RimWorld. I've never played it. It's not really my kind of game. Surprisingly, I know. I feel like a lot of people think it's going to be my kind of game. You know what's been hardest today? Finding the freaking berry models for your plants. Like, they don't just line up, sorry. Hello, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Does your game have a base for the player like Dark Souls? My game is a roguelite, so it has a hub like Hades. My game's not like Dark Souls, so it doesn't have a quote-unquote base like Dark Souls. It's addicting? I mean, I imagine. I imagine it would be. Ooh, let's check this out with projectiles. This should be interesting. Oh. Projectiles work differently. Right. I need this system on a projectile as well. Can I collapse this? I can. Do I put this in a function library? There's only two places where I need it. But why not, kind of thing? Spawn, chain, lightning. Ah, but then we cannot do the do once. So this part, okay, so this part still needs to happen no matter what. Then after that, then we can do the rest of this. So this part can go away. Oh, what happened here? Oh, but we can't do the spawn. Ah. Okay, screw it. Too much of this can't go in here. You think you've never seen any Dark Souls gameplay? But that was Elden Ring on this channel? Yeah. I mean, that's... the gameplay is like that. I mean, it, you know, doesn't help that I was playing a sorcerer. But I was playing a sorcerer in Dark Souls 3 as well. That's the function. Spawn. Chain. Lightning. So you should, let's copy you to the projectile. And then figure out what we need to change here. Only actor is the attacker. This needs to be a variable. Okay. Just do one of these, and then we can go ahead and copy all of this to here. And we do this after the damaged. Yeah. So we do this here, and we just do a little sequence. This should have been on the AC abilities. I don't know why I didn't put it there. I just realized. Literally every single other one was on AC abilities. I don't know why I didn't do that. Oh well. Let's see. Yay! Look at that. Is it working? Yeah, it's working. I feel like the range needs improvement. Or the duration of it needs improvement. Visually, it disappears way too. So let me adjust some stuff. So let's make the size of it bigger. And then let me change the lifespan to be like, I don't know, 0.35 instead of 0.25. Hopefully see it a little bit more. There, okay, that's better. That's better. Why did that not... Why is that not chain lightning? Why is that not chain lightning? Oh! It's not doing a chain lightning because I'm not resetting it, because the projectiles, right, they get reused. So they need to custom event, reset chain lightning. We need a reset here that oh, wrong one. Not here. On the projectile, we need one here. Reset chain lightning, and it needs to reset it when we set in use to be true. I'm gonna put it before here. Trying to figure out a way for Pikachu to store a water can for the garden and put it away somehow. Put it away in what sense? Like physically put it somewhere? Because you can just, you know, make it go poof, and you just store the variable like you have it. And then if you have the variable, then you like bring it back out. Okay, let's see. Bam. Bam. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. So the problem wasn't the size. Let's move the size back down. The size back down. I'm going to reduce the timer now. The problem wasn't that. In the belly, I mean, it's better than what I was thinking, which is, you know, he could shove it up his ass. I'm sorry. That's just where my that is where my brain went, though. The only real option for him. It works. We have chain lightning, and it works with projectiles. That's awesome. Let's do this one. We'll chain a little to fewer of them, and it chains the damage. Sweet. Should Pikachu be able to wield a sword? A dagger, maybe. Did I not give myself chain lightning? I feel like a sword's too big for Pikachu. I feel like he should be having like a dagger. But I mean, like, to be fair, someone has drawn Pikachu holding Cloud's Buster Sword of all things. So I don't think that's to scale. But if you had, like, right, in terms of relative scale, right, this is a dagger. Right? Relative to him, it's a sword. But to be fair, I guess the handle is... The problem, right, the problem is he is tiny. So, really, this handle should be much too big for him to hold, no matter what. So... yeah, it depends. Why'd you put me in quotes? The real question should be, why shouldn't he wield a sword? Cloud's Buster Sword would be extremely large for Pikachu. Yeah. Think you try to drag it? Yeah. That is an option. Yeah. Okay, I think what I need to do is just modify the function. I need to do this part if this is true, not the other way around. So do this and only do the rest of this if this is true. Because I don't even want to spawn this then. That's my problem. We do the same thing on the projectile. More readable. Fair enough. It's questioning how procedural is your mind, clearly. Well, the thing is, right, it's procedural minds, plural, because you guys, the hive mind is the procedural minds. I'm just a dumb guy. You guys are the procedural minds. You're here. See, in your game, you're a human that becomes a Pikachu, but you don't know what a Pikachu is, so you don't have electricity yet. I mean, I guess the question becomes really, do you think he could pick up a sword in terms of, like, physically? Do you want him to be able to do that with his tiny little fingers? I don't know how strong he is, so he's not a fighting type, so he's not exactly strong. He gets the stick at first. I can see a stick. Stick work. But here's the thing: you can keep the stick, right? You can change the stick from a regular stick to be like a different type of stick, and then eventually maybe he gets like a metal pipe, which is conductive. You see where I'm going with this? Instead of having like a full-on sword, it could be just different, like, small, like, objects like that would work for, like, a creature like that. Forget physics. Make him use electricity to force the blade to orbit around him. Make it... Oh my god. Actually, I mean, would Pikachu be able to do a magnetic field? I mean, you can modify a magnetic field with electricity, right? So theoretically, with advanced enough electrical modification, I think it's possible. I'm curious. With precise enough electrical control, can you modify? Can you turn it into a? Can you make a metal object float like a magnet? Yeah, with precise enough electrical control, you can make certain metal objects levitate using electromagnetic forces, similar to how magnets levitate. Yeah, there you go. It's within physics, too. There you go. I mean, physics. Yeah. Leo's got a good point. He doesn't hold the sword ever. And then you can have really cool, like, things where he just shoots the swords at people and, like, does, like, really big, like, wide attacks despite him being a small body instead of doing, like, actually moving his... I can see that being really cool. You know? And then, yeah, he can use... Oh, man. At that point... See, you can make a game out of that by itself. Because after a certain level, maybe he starts with a stick, he goes to a metal pipe, then he learns how to throw the metal pipe, and just how to use his electric magnetism, and then he goes to a sword, and then he goes to a bigger sword, and then he says fuck it, and he takes a car and just slams cars into enemies. He just magnetizes and lifts cars on top of enemies. And problem solved. Yours is a darker game, but they don't faint or die. They just get exhausted and sit there for a while. Yeah. Yeah. Just like, you know, regular Pokemon. They don't faint. No one blacks out. The person you are fighting and lose to does not beat you up completely where you know, black out and end up in the hospital. That definitely doesn't happen in Pokemon. And the fact that some Pokemon have descriptions that say they're, you know, tasty or basically. Pokemon's a grim world. It also has, you know, little kids just going around places it really shouldn't be. And if you actually read some of the lines some of those trainers say, probably shouldn't be there. There's some really sus lines in Pokemon. Oh, that's so good. I love it. Okay, there we go. We got Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is in. And then tomorrow, I guess we'll do Leo's suggestion for rebound. Oh, Leo and modifications of that suggestion where we will spawn something, spikes or something, as a chance around enemies hit. We should be able to do that. I'll set that up. That should be good. There are environmental puzzles that only certain types can activate. There are main party of 4, Pikachu, Chespin, Charmander, and Riolu. I only know 2 of those. I know Pikachu and Charmander. I don't know the other 2. I'm sure if I saw pictures of them, I'd probably know them. But not by name. Charmander owns a burger restaurant called Charbroiled. Searching the world for the best ingredients. Well, then he's not owning a burger restaurant if he's out there getting the material, getting the stuff, right? Who's running the restaurant if he's not there? He's a bad burger restaurant owner. He left his cousin in charge. Oh, he's just the owner. He's not the chef. I get it. Okay. Anyway. It's been fun, guys. It's been fun. But that's all the time we have for tonight. More power-up stuff tomorrow. It is Wednesday. The plan for the Sunday video is... I think I want to make a video showing how you can use BCG without knowing a single node. Because you really don't need to know how to do a single node. Hey, McDonald, welcome in. Then I guess goodbye. This is Sand. I think that's going to be us in this video. Just be like, hey, look. BCG is awesome. You can use it, and you don't even need to make a single node. It's great. Anyways, guys, that's all for tonight. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.